Well, hi everybody. How you doing out there? I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're doing great. If I'm not mistaken, I think I said in my last video that things are going to get going here this week, and it looks like it's breaking loose. Yeah, it looks like it's breaking loose. Getting ready to hit the fan here, huh? I heard they were doing odds in Vegas to see who was going to get indicted first, whether it was going to be Giuliani or Gaetz. Should have got my pendulum out, brought my pendulum in here and asked that question, I guess. Might have been interesting. But it doesn't really matter who goes first, does it? Just as long as they get some of those suckers. And I know we're not supposed to feel like that, but justice is justice. And like my favorite guy says, justice matters. And I love that. I never miss one of his shows. I just love him, and I can't love him so much I can't remember his name right now, but you know who I'm talking about. So So some people didn't like what I had to say last time I was on, but that's all right, because you don't have to like what I have to say. We all are different human beings, and we all get our information and study what we want to study, come at everything from different directions. And I was really proud of Biden's speech. He did a wonderful job. And I don't even think he had a gaffe in there. And for all those, you know, that's hard on a younger person, like I said, and like I said, him and I are the same age, so I always watch him and think, oh my God, he's doing so good. And I've never said that he's not a good person, that he's not doing good. He's doing a lot better than I thought he was. I thought he was going to be. I thought age had gotten to him a little more before he got in there. He's doing really good. Probably giving him vitamin cocktails every day. And if they are, I'd like to have some for me. That would be wonderful. Whatever he's taking, I'd like some. Anyway, I hope you're all doing good out there tonight. And I was really glad to see the comments of all the people that did pray for the people in India. For some reason, I just, you know, of course, it should hit all of us hard when that was happening here. And it's not that we should just wait and let some other country hit us, but that's the first place I thought of when I thought of this COVID spreading around the world, because I know that some people that work there work in those sweatshops, like sewing all day, and just sleep under their sewing machine at night. And that's how their life is over there, a lot of them. I mean, we have poor, but we don't have them. Anyway, not like they do quite in India, and I know there might be some people that would argue with me about that probably know more about this than I do, and I'm not saying but I've read enough and seen enough about there and and you know, and how crowded they are. And when this first happened, I kept thinking, God, if it gets over there and gets started, it's never going to stop. And then it didn't. You know, it went a long time, and they were doing really good. And it was almost like every time I heard it, I thought of a divine hand reaching out to them or something. But it is coming through now, so we still need to pray for them and pray for us to have some people that pay attention and want to help get this thing stopped even here. People quit playing the victim card because they have to wear a mask. But anyway, I love you all, and I hope you're doing good tonight. And this is Sunday night, and I spent most of the day today. I usually watch the readers on Sunday, but this Sunday I've been binging I can't say a stupid thing, but I don't even know when it was made, but it was made it's on Amazon, and it's called Indian Summer. And it's like reading a really good book. I read so many books about India between the Second and Third World War, when Gandhi was in prison, or Gandhi, however you pronounce it. And and the stuff that was going on over there, and what happened when the British did pull out. They just pulled out and left most of these poor people. I don't know, it seems, if I remember correctly, there was at least 3 or 4 different tribes over there, and one of them just really got slaughtered terribly. But anyway, it's a good, here I am, I started to tell you about a good video to watch, and here I'm off to slaughtered terribly. But anyway, yeah, because I really like the history, but this is kind of like a sexy soap opera with history behind it. But anyway, got me hooked in, and I thought it was going to be maybe have about 4, 5, 6 of them, and it's one of those ones that National Public Broadcasting ones, you know, it came out on that channel originally, and they're really good. But anyway, it's on Amazon. So what's going on in the world? What's going on in the world? A lot of stuff. I know you're probably tired of hearing me talk about it, and I wasn't even going to talk about him. I just found this when I was going around here checking my setting my lights up and stuff, and I found this on the floor and picked it up. I guess I wrote it a couple of days ago. And I've got Joe Manchin, and then I've got liar with a exclamation mark. Yeah, he don't want to raise the taxes on the rich, and he don't want to raise the minimum wage for the poor. So since he's got the people that own the restaurants, the restaurant foundation, and all that kind of stuff, giving his campaign millions of dollars, and he owns his own hotel in West Virginia there, so he don't want to raise the minimum wage either, and don't want to raise taxes on the rich. So maybe you know, one of the things Bernie said when he was talking about, you know, they interviewed him so much, especially when he was on top there, and they asked him flat out, well, what would you do? For instance, let's say you were the president, and you still got the people that don't want to go along with any of your progressive ideas or anything. How would you do that? How would you take care of that? He said, I would go personally, or send my vice president and some of my top senators, whatever. I would send them into their district to tell the people of their district what they were blocking. And, you know, that really makes sense. And so that's, I don't know if you remember, but about 3 weeks ago, Kamala Harris took a trip to West Virginia. I'm pretty sure it's West Virginia where his mansion's from. If it's not, it's close to there. And he was all upset because he wasn't sure what she was going for or what she was going to talk about. And from what I understand, he was really sweating it because he didn't know for sure he thought maybe they were up to something like that. But that's not what happened. She went in there, I'm sure she praised him and everything. Well, what Trump used to do was call people out on the internet, and no matter who it was, if they didn't think with him that he went just the same old story, same old dance, same old tune. But it would be different to go in to the individual congressman's district, have some kitchen table discussions, whatever they want to call them, set them up in gymnasiums and everything, and just go out and talk to the people, just the common people. And if it's somebody like the vice president or somebody with enough notoriety, even if they weren't your favorite people or people that you particularly liked, you'd go see them if they were right down the street at your gym. But go listen to what they had to say. And they don't need to go in there and just right out start bad-mouthing him. They could just start saying, this is what we're going to trying to put through as Democrats, and you know, this is what we're pushing for, and talk about the $15 an hour minimum wage and what that would do for people, and how silly it would be to block it, and how it wouldn't hurt, you know, how it could be done, how it could be subsidized. Because I had Talk about small business. I had the smallest business in the world. The most employees I ever had in the whole 30 years I had it at one time was 8. And the only reason I had 8 is we were open 7 days a week with 2 different shifts. So if I didn't keep at least, 7 or 8 people that was working off and on, if somebody was sick or something, I didn't even have somebody to come in and cover it. Except me. I covered thousands of them, it seems like, and I probably did, if I counted back, at least 1,000 over all those years. But sometimes double shifts because I'd already been working all day. But anyway, I don't want to get this back on me. But they could go in and talk to him, and even tell him, if your business is so small, that you have under 20 people or whatever, we'll subsidize you on your taxes. Or, through your taxes, through your workman's comp, through something where it makes up for you having to pay a $15 an hour wage if you can't afford it. But too, the smaller you get on places like that, I always tried to pay at least what everybody else did, and then the last 10 years I was in business, I was way ahead. Because I was paying $8 an hour the last 10, 12 years I was in business. And at that time, I don't know what the minimum wage was, but I think it was barely $6 or something like that. But I figured when you're running a really small place where people were working with cash at that time instead of credit cards, that it's better to have them at least try to make them think that you think they're working for you instead of against you. Because my biggest problem was having money go where it was supposed to go when it was taken across the bar. But anyway, that I'm sure is figured into almost any business when you work with cash. I don't know what the odds are on that. But anyway, so they could do that. They could go around, they could go to Arizona to these small counties and places, especially whatever county that's, or district that put that, shit, I know her name, little frickin' hustler. The little play actress from Arizona in there, I can't think of her name, but put her in there. Go to her district, let them know what she's blocking. And don't do it once. Do it enough times to where they're calling in and they're telling her what they want. So they can't get kudos for blocking this, because they're just blocking it for the whole world, and especially for the Democrats. So that's what they need to do. But that's just my idea. If they're going to do anything, and you can't, they've only got 2 years to do something. And the way they're gerrymandering all this stuff and taking all these voting rights away, we'll be damn lucky if we don't lose control in 2 years. And the way to keep that from happening is to do stuff like that. Go in there, get rid of the filibuster, and take over and start doing some real governing. Start making plans, putting bills out there, doing stuff exactly, their agenda, stuff that they had said they were going to do. That's what they need to do. And that's what needs to be done. But anyway, I'm going to shut up on that, and I'm going to see, I think I just read on this last week, but maybe not on Rudy. So let's see what's going on with Rudy Giuliani. What's going on with him? God, what a tool. He is a tool, isn't he? That's about one of the nicer things I can say about that man. About the only nice thing I can say about that man. Oh, so we got the Empress. So his signifier is he always thought he was in charge no matter what. I don't know if that's from getting to be the mayor in New York so many times and being there, but whatever. He still thinks he's a frickin' star. And I'm sure everybody's noticed this is also the Russia card, so that's what's gonna get him. That's what's gonna get him. I think they're gonna prove that he was colluding with Russia in this whole and bring the whole administration into it. Yeah, there's some woman prosecutor or something that's coming after him with guns a-blazing. That's the influence over that card. And the foundation of this is, yes, he will be going to jail. He's not going to be able to get out of this unless he has a heart attack. So yes, he will be going to jail. And here's another yes card. We got the Queen of Pentacles. Sometimes she's just a yes card. She's coming. They're coming after him for the money. And yes, this confirm another yes card. It's confirming yes, he will be in jail. We got yes. We got the foundation at the bottom being in jail, and the president in the sky. What's going on? It's yes. And it's for putting money in the wrong place at the wrong time and taking money from the wrong place, and then that's, you know, and I'm pretty sure this is going to lead all the way back to Trump, where this money came from and where it got circulated from and who paid for his trips, or there's going to be some record somewhere of him paying this. And the deal he made to go dig up this trash to try to influence this election. With Russia, that card's right next to the Russia card. And they know it. They got the records of it already. They got records on this. They knew they had this stuff before that rating went in. Look at that. There, we've got the Hierophant. This is about a bunch of stuff that went on overseas. That's what he's the most afraid they're going to find out, that so much money was changed hands overseas. And he's going to be going up the river. Up the river. So there's no reason to draw any more cards on this. There's going to be more coming through on this investigation than we thought. Proof that he was colluding with Russia. And I'm sure it's going to be for Trump. There's a lady judge, lady prosecutor, strong lady that's going to end up putting him in jail because they're going to follow the money. And this is a yes. They're going to come down on him hard, even though he's older. Sometimes people just think, oh, they won't bother him because he was the president's lawyer and he's older. No, they don't care. They're going to show that he was paying money out, trying to bribe people, trying to do stuff that he shouldn't have done, and he was in a partnership. And I was just told that I wasn't even thinking about reading on them, but I think Frick and Frack are in on this, and that's that Lev Parnas and that other guy. So they're going to be in this somewhere. Like I said, my guides just told me that's where some of this money payoff is going to come from. They already know this. They already have the records on it with overseas. And yes, he's going, I don't know if they call it up the river or down the river, but he's going to jail. So I don't know who's going first, him or Matt Gaetz, but he's definitely going. And I'm going to go by these cards. Every time I've read the cards lately, I've just kept saying, I can't believe that, I can't believe that. But I did say that something was going to start, and it was going to start happening quick this last week, and it did. And I did say, you know, every time I read it, I say, oh, I don't know if I can believe that or not, but I'll tell you what, I believe it. He's going to jail. At least there wasn't any sick or death cards in here. Last time I read for him, it showed death and sickness and other stuff even worse than going to jail. So maybe he's feeling better. Maybe he's been taking better. Maybe he's been taking better care of himself. You think so? So then we got let's read on Frick and Frack. So this is that Lev Parnas, and what was the other one's name? Sounded like something from a comedy or something, a cat comedy. What's his friend's name? But anyway, you know who I'm talking about. You guys follow politics, you know who I'm talking about. Are they going to be involved in this before it's through? Is this stuff going to come out with deals he made with them? Probably this Ukraine stuff. More than likely. I think I just keep lifting my shoulders up higher and higher here. So let's see what's going on there. Gosh. So this is on what I got here. I got my necklace there, but I also got that. I put the microphone against my skin because it usually works better if it's against my skin. Okay, so this is on Frickin' Frack. What's going on with Frickin' Frack? They're still in jail, I think, waiting something. I don't think they're out running around. If I'm not mistaken, they're still in the hooscow. No, I keep taking these main arcana cards and taking them off the bottom, but let me shuffle them again a couple of times. Okay, what's going on with you two? I think whatever happens is they're going to be a team. They're going to get it together. I don't know, that one that keeps wanting to talk, I think his name's Parnas. I think Lev Parnas or something. I think he might be in more trouble than the other one. Yeah, the other one has kept his mouth shut as far as I know. So, or maybe he's going to be in the deepest trouble. Maybe that's why he's smart enough he's kept his mouth shut. Who knows? But I'm going to do them together. So this is for Frickin' Frack. What's going on? Let me cut them. Stick my glasses back on here. Four of Wands. Whatever they do, they're going to do them together. It's a family card. And it's also a White House card. This is going to lead all the way up to the White House. And yes, it is going to lead all the way up to the White House. Here's the yes card. The Queen of Cups there. They've got evidence on both of them already. The only reason they haven't brought them to trial already is they were just waiting for this. Maybe Barr didn't want to mess with it and didn't think they had enough to hurt anybody too bad. At least he didn't have them snuffed out while they were in jail. Didn't pay a mysterious visit and then have them die 3 days later. But so yeah, they've got all the evidence. They've got the paperwork. They've got the files. They were trying to figure out whether to bring this through. I think that they might find out that Barr held it back because there was some argument about bringing it forward before. And remember, this is on Frickin' Frack. But here comes the cavalry coming through here with records and money. And it's coming through fast. So it looks like Rudy might be going down. I don't know which one's going down first, but this is connected to Rudy, and this is coming through fast. And it's not good news. And there's going to be nothing that these two poor guys can do. They're going to end up getting blamed for probably a lot of stuff. Maybe they even shouldn't before it's through. Although they're in this up to their... They were not just in one thing. They were in a bunch of things. Look at this card here. Not just one thing. They're afraid. That one guy that's been wanting to talk, he was wanting to talk about all these things. The other guys didn't want to talk to anybody about anything. So I think we're going to be so surprised at everything that those two people were involved with Rudy that went all the way up to the president. We're going to be so shocked when this comes through. Even the people that have known that there was a bunch of slime ball stuff going on, they're still just going to be totally shocked. So we've got, yeah, it's almost like a family deal. There's 4 people involved in this. This is Giuliani and the Trump Association and frickin' frack. And yeah, they got the goods on them. And yeah, they've got records of the goods on them. Some kind of fights kept this back from coming because they didn't want it coming out. If Trump would have got reelected, it would have never come out. I don't know what would have happened to those guys. But they might have just quietened it down and then let him out of jail. Who knows? It is coming through. They're moving on their case too. Because they've got the goods because they followed the money. And it's coming through fast. They're going to be out in the cold. There's going to be so many other things coming out. It's going to be hard to keep track of everything that they were involved with. And yes, they are guilty, and it's coming down on them. Coming right down on them quick. So that's what's going on there. I'm just going to turn some more lights on over here, but I probably got plenty. I always think there's not enough lights on them when I edit the video. It's so bright it almost blows my eyes out. So that's what's going on with frickin' frack. What is that other guy's name? Is it Guru? Lulu? Just 2 words. Like I said, it sounds like a comedy character. So, what did I have down here that I was really going to read on? Somebody wanted me to see if the census was fair. Well, we all know that Trump wanted that all back in before he left office because he was going to screw with it before he even left office. And because everything was so gutted out in our government and the people that was left in charge of running it were still Trump's lackeys, who knows that it wasn't screwed with even if it didn't come in and get finished and stuff till the end. Who knows what other kind of stuff they were working on. If they go over this with, what are we going to ask? Well, let's just ask if it was fair. I'm going to go across the top. I'm going to try 4 across here at the top. And do one if it was fair, and then underneath it if they're going to get caught, depending on how it comes out. I doubt very much of the census was fair. You know, they were trying to cut it down and scare people, and half the people were afraid to sign up for it. I know it hadn't been. I think that was back in Reagan's time and stuff that I was afraid to sign up at the census. At that time I wasn't sure what it was, and my mom just about had a fit about it because she says no, and she told me how important it was and why it was important and everything, because I was thinking that. And I was never an illegal. I didn't have anything to hide. I was even running a business, and I thought it might do something. So I can imagine what these poor people from overseas think, unless somebody's explained to them why they have it and what it's about. So anyway, let's do this across the top. The census, was it fair? We know it was undercounted and underrated and underpushed and understaffed, so it's pretty obvious that it wasn't fair, but let's see. There's your answer. No, it wasn't fair. They only counted the ones they wanted to. And the environment was around that was, let's just keep this going, point our finger here, point our finger there, do this and that, and start celebrating already because we're gonna handle this. And it looks like they're gonna go back and recount it. I wasn't looking for that in these cards. I was looking for, was it fair? But instead of we got, yeah, they patty caked out there. They had no intention to make it fair. They were already celebrating because as far as they knew, they got away with messing with it. But I'm not so sure that they won't have to go back and do some recount or go into some areas that they didn't get into. If they do an investigation, they're going to find out that they missed thousands of people. So they can only do that every 10 years by law, and I can't see them taking care of this. If it ever gets taken care of, it's not going to even be before the next election. It'll be after that. But it looks like it is going to get corrected. I'm going to draw some cards over the top of these. It looks like it is going to come out all right. A lot of energy was put into it, but not in the right places. It's not going to be able to hide it. There was money. There's payoffs made that went to the wrong places. And that's going to come forward. That's why we got that right under, that's the clarifier under the devil. Then we got the women celebrating with a broken heart underneath. So that shows that they are going to find that it was not fair. And then we got all the children and people that didn't get counted, and then the world finding out about it. So I don't know how they're going to pull this off, or how they could possibly do it, and they've got so many other things on their mind. But it was not counted right or gathered right, or they just missed whole areas of people where they were wanting to miss them, and it is going to come out. It's going to come out into the open. Got the world card here. They're not going to be able to stop it, and I'm so used to saying no, I don't believe this, but I'm going to say I believe it. After them looking like they're going to get Matt Gaetz and Giuliani, whether they wanted to or not. I feel so good about that, people. We all got to feel good about that. Not good about them and the young, and that's something too. For 3 days in a row, my guides were just, well, I'm going to read on Matt Gaetz right now, and I see if it comes out in the cards. But my guides were hounding me, telling me that this is just getting started on them as far as young girls. That there's a lot younger women than 17 involved in this. I'm not saying that they weren't probably teenagers, but a lot of them were younger than 17. Is what my guides kept saying. This sick feeling, and I don't know, every time just working around here, when it would come up on TV or something, it was like they were just telling me this is just getting started, and they're going on about that one 17-year-old girl, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. So that's what I felt I was being told all week about that, because if you were watching any news, it was on every day, so it's not like I was getting up and meditating on Matt Gaetz. But anyway, it just kept coming through to me. So let's see what's going on with Matt Gaetz. Yeah, I'm going to shuffle him one more time. What's going on with Matt Gaetz? Matt Gaetz. And I want to thank all you guys for watching. If you want a personal reading, it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. And right now I got an open calendar. I read cards every day, all day last week, and I got caught up on everybody that I had out there. So if anybody wants a reading, please get a hold of me at lynntarotreadings@gmail.com and send your phone number, and it really makes it faster. So let's see. This is Matt Gaetz. You little booger bear. What are you up to? Oh, it's all the money he sent to the girls and all the payoffs that they got records of. That's his signifier. That's what's going to pull him down. This is stupid record keeping. He thought he had it hid. Or just thought he was so safe that he couldn't be caught for nothing. He's had such a spoon in his mouth. And looky here, he's going to jail too. Maybe they'll put him in a cell with Giuliani. So he's going to jail on this. You've seen how many times I shuffle those cards. A lot of work done looking for the records, and the police authorities coming in there. That's going to end up putting him out in the cold. That's what's going on. The way this is going, he will be thrown out of Congress. I don't know who's going to bring charges against him, but it looks like it's a man instead of a woman against him. We got the King of Wands here. We got a male judge. Somebody, maybe his father, can't even buy off, because it won't be probably in the state he's from. And this is the truth coming out about the younger women. That's what this is. And he was sure when all this stuff started that he didn't even have to cover his ass, that he was so rich and famous and running with the right people, the Trump people, and the White House and everything would just give him a pardon and protect his ass. That little speech he made that they should just give everybody pardons. Now we know why. And the Biden administration is going to get him. It's something to do with Joe Biden. And just take your time and take a deep breath. This may not happen overnight, but it's coming. Yes, it's coming. Got the yes card here, right next to the jail card. So yeah, he was stupid when he paid the girls, and besides that, he didn't pay them. He paid them chump change compared to what he was asking them to do. Gonna be in jail for it. I was gonna say lucky to stay out of jail, but this says no, he's going to jail. The law already has the goods on him. He's going to be out in the cold. His daddy's not going to be able to help him. There's going to be male judges, male prosecutor. This isn't even a woman coming after him. And there's more deep, deep, deep truths coming out. And thought he was protected by the White House, but now there's a new guy in the White House who's fair and just and honest, and they're going to find the money and find out that he's guilty. So that's what's going on with Matt Gaetz. And I'm sure you probably, like I said, I didn't watch any of the Sunday shows, but that's probably all they've been talking about. But you said people said not to worry about that, just to read on it from a different direction. So, well, I'm going to read one more time. I know it's silly, but it means more to me than anything. I'm going to read one time before I quit here on the filibuster. Are they going to really start pushing and get rid of this filibuster? And to do that, they may have to go to these congressmen's homes and talk to people and tell them what the filibuster is blocking. And if they have to do that, they should do it. They should do anything possible that would help them get rid of this. And not be nasty or underhanded like the Republicans, just by telling the truth about what it would do and what it would do for the people. So let's see. I'm afraid if they don't, that we've lost our democracy. I think that's why I'm always wanting to read on it. So, okay, are they going to get rid of the filibuster? Hopefully there's a lot of money going toward it. They probably even got people. I'd send in donations to get rid of it if I knew where to send them for it to do any good. So the signifier on that is money. There's a lot of money. There's going to be so much money coming out to try to keep them from getting rid of it. Money coming and going from the wrong places. Come on, Nancy. She's got to get behind this and push it. she's going to have to start doing her job and really pushing this. The Democrats are going to have to fight for it. It's not going to just happen. They're going to have to fight for it, and they're not known too much for fighting. This says yes. It's on top, Nancy's below, so maybe she's even going to come out fighting for it. I hope so. If she does, I'll be the first one to give her credit. If they don't, they're just going to have they're going to be blindfolded and have their hands behind them this whole administration. Just a waste of time. Probably end up losing the Congress, losing the Senate, and everything else. So it's got to be changed. If they don't, they're putting themselves in jail, and they've got to know that. You think they're going to wake up and realize it? That the devil's in the detail? Something's got to be done. Shows them just hanging around, thinking that it's going to fix itself. Anyway, there's a delay. Hopefully that's not hanging around. But this is good. This is the hope of strength coming through. And this is the women Democratic strength coming through. And I asked if they were going to get rid of it, and this is the yes card. So I got to go by these cards. I'm going to say, even though there's millions and probably millions and millions of dollars spent against it, getting rid of it, they're going to find out that a lot of the money's coming, that there's something wrong. This money's tainted some of it. Even Nancy herself is going to come through and fight for this. And it says yes, she will. Because if she doesn't, they're just putting themselves in jail, selling the country down the river. So they need to quit thinking about this and get a plan into action. And it looks like they're going to. But this is ingenuity, strength, and using their head and their heart to do the right thing, which would be to get rid of it. And the answer is yes. So we'll just have to see what happens. I'm going to start reading on that almost every time I do cards, or every third time, or whatever. And if anybody wants me to read on anything special, please just ask me, because I was looking through I spent an hour going through my replies because I hadn't had a chance to look at them, because I've been busy doing other things, believing it or not. Even relined my teeth yesterday. I do that about every year or so. It's a lot cheaper than going to the dentist. They have the stuff you can do it yourself, and it works great. So not all my teeth are false, but I have what do you call them, partials. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching, and I love you all, and I love your comments, and I hope I cheered you up. I can't imagine cheering anybody up, but I hope I did. And I'll get back with you shortly. Bye now. And God bless y'all. Namaste.